So it has finally arrived, the new Nest Hello. As you can see, it is not installed beautifully in a new home. Instead, I have it here on this test setup because our current house is actually under construction and we've spec'd the Nest Hello, but also a somewhat unusual doorbell. This is not an unusual doorbell. This is the normal corner hardware store doorbell you might find or just grab on Amazon. And the reason I wanted to do a test is because, see, this is one of the components of the Nest Hello. It's called the chime connector, and what they expect you to do is take the normal wires going into your chime, instead put them into the chime connector and connect the chime connector to the chime. And then they show it being tucked away in the corner here under the box. However, if you've spec'd a chime or have a chime, and like we have, where the connection isn't like this, where there isn't a box necessarily where this chime connector can sit, this is the video for you. I wanted to test to make sure that if instead of putting the chime connector right at the chime, that instead if I intercepted those wires closer to the transformer where I have access to the wires and can safely store it, not inside of a wall. So I just have line voltage coming into this Honeywell standard transformer. We've got the transformer wired up to the doorbell. The doorbell, though, instead of then going to the chime connector inside of the chime, it goes to the chime connector right here, right next to the transformer. And the chime connector is then connected to this 16 gauge speaker wire, which I've used about a 15-foot run to simulate it being a little bit farther away than the chime connector would normally be installed. And, the hope was that it would work, and it does, which is wonderful, which means that if you have an unusual doorbell, you can, without even touching the chime, with an unusual door chime, without even touching the chime, you can intercept those wires at the transformer where, depending on your wiring setup, they might be. If you have a more distributed wiring setup for your doorbell, that might not work, but certainly in new construction, you don't need to worry about putting the chime connector super close to the chime. There doesn't seem to be any voltage drop issues. You can put it closer to the transformer.